Main Street Hyannis, 1 mile of businesses for longtime residents and day-tripping tourists. While some of the faces and businesses have changed over the years, one thing stays the same. It's still a mecca for a diversity of shoppers, artists, gatherers, treasure seekers, and souvenir hunters. The little village that's a big city, where regulars recognized each other and strangers met.
I don't have a lot of reason to go to Main Street anymore.
The only way you are going to find people of diversity is to actually immerse yourself in diversity.
What Main Street was like in the 70s and 80s, and what I basically see as an interesting de-evolution, and this is something that's happening all over around the Cape. The Cape was a community. The Cape was a vibrant community. Yeah. Main Street was a vibrant thoroughfare in terms of business and commerce in the 70s and 80s.
My siblings and I, we all come home for the holidays, right? One of the things we would do, it sounds silly, but we would drive up and down Main Street. You make the pass on Main Street. And in the warmer weather, you make the pass because that's where everybody in town, like the kids you went to high school with, that you may not have seen, that's where everybody hung out.
You know, that you once upon a time had a Prodigal Son coffee house was part of the vibrancy of the area. That you once upon a time had a Spiritus Pizza on Main Street was part of the vibrancy. The fact that you had little stores and shops like Zayre's and things like that up and down. The fact that once upon a time Main Street sort of appealed to people of various social and economic levels.
And the street would be crowded. It would be really, really crowded, right?
Yeah. And a lot of the mothers used to just come up with their babies in the carriages. We used to walk all over the place.
It was our Saturday night entertainment when I was really...
There wasn't that much traffic then.
When I was really small,
right?
It was sometimes the Saturday night entertainment where, like she said, the younger kids got put in the stroller, but the rest of us either brought our bikes or we just, ran alongside, walked alongside. But it was safe too. It was safe. I do remember you'd see a police officer just walking the beat and it was friendly, hi officer. So as kids, they'd let us, I guess around 9, 10 years old, we could go into the stores by ourselves. They had all these little shops where you could spend your little bit of money you might have earned for allowance or doing chores.
Yeah, penny candy used to be a penny. It was, of course, much less expensive than it is now.
It was interestingly enough, almost like I would say probably the most democratic street on Cape Cod. If you went in the Prodigal Son and bought your cup of coffee, you could sit there virtually all night. Nobody's going to bother you. And the thing was, it became an artistic exchange. It became a cultural exchange. It was kind of understood. You have an arts community that's not flush like that can, go out and blow $200-300 a night.
There was one place that I loved so much. It was called the Prodigal Son. It was like a hidden gem. And it really, days I didn't want to be in school or even in life, it was like a saving grace for me. It really meant a lot. I wish I could tell them how important it was now.
We lived above the Prodigal Son, and we had the coffee house below, and we worked many hours, long hours. My brother-in-law and myself and my ex-husband Dave. And we rented for about 10 years, and it was a place people really felt comfortable coming. We made it as welcoming as we can, and we did a lot of live music. A lot of people got on stage for the first time, whether it was poetry, whether it was music. We did belly dancing. We did a lot of different things.
Because this was the other thing. You think about that TV show Cheers, where it was like everybody knows your name. Well, there were places all up and down Main Street where it was like you hung out. Yeah. Now, if you're not spending money, you don't hang there. So you don't have gathering places.
For some, it's home, where they have built their lives and their livelihoods. They have watched the area change, and not necessarily for the better. The graying of the Cape, where retirees are replacing young families, has had some hidden costs, a loss of familiarity, a loss of diversity, a loss of engagement, and a loss of generations.
But the actual policy changes, things that affects us as our living, it just became stagnant.
When I came to visit Cape Cod, it was a go-to. I think in the last 20 years for me, it's gone really down.
I think it's a little bit of a sad change because a lot of places, and even before the pandemic, were closing. And they were, you knew the owners, or you knew their children or grandkids, and I don't really know too many more people that are rooted out here anymore.
Town leaders deciding we need to turn the Cape into a retirement community. So, like, for example, Puffer Bellies is closed. What was the Mill Hill Club is now the Mill Hill Retirement Home. I mean,
same building too, right?
Yeah, same, like built right in the footprint. It's like, and half the people who live in the retirement community used to hang out at the Mill Hill Club.
They don't even change the name.
You don't even change the name. It's just like, oh, now it's the Mill Hill Retirement. I mean, you can't make that up.
The change includes feeling underrepresented and unheard by the decision makers in town. New people have brought pressure on town government for noise control, putting a damper on the nightlife on Main Street, silencing not just music, but fun. Chapter 133 of the Barnstable Noise Code states, the fact that the noise is plainly audible at a distance of 150 feet from the building, dwelling, structure, premises, shelter, boat, or conveyance from which it originates shall constitute prima facie evidence of a violation of this chapter.
Art, paintings, clothing, people. I can keep going on and on and on. But the people that are here were not included in the Main Street or the decision making or anything like that. We're not represented. So we can, when we say we want to be included or see changes, is just wishful thinking.
I wish there was more representation of all the different people that make up the Cape. I also wish that there was more understanding of people that make up the Cape.
People are afraid of what's different. I think that's the bottom line. They are used to the stereotypes and the stigma that society has put on people, so they shy away. So they don't engage. You can say hello, and because if the person's white and I'm black, they tend to want to walk across the street to the other side of the street or be standoffish. But I still try to engage. Let people know we're no different. We're just friendly, just as nice. So I engage, but my daughter gives me grief every time. But I still do it. I like who I am, so I'm going to keep doing my part and try to integrate people together.
I want to see more Black-owned businesses. I want to see more just focused on the youth, the children of the community, because at one time we were children and that wasn't provided or given to us. And now we're just as adults. Like, it's everything that I wish I had when I was younger is what I wish that we could give to the younger groups. More programs, more art. I want more culture. I want more diversity. I want more spotlight on the actual people of the community, of the youth of the community. I want to uplift and build our people. I want everybody to be collective and together, but not in this, oh, well, let's just do it for show. Let's actually do it because we give a shit about people.
All right, here's the next thing. Keep things open past 10 o'clock.
Go get something to eat. Sometimes there was entertainment. Sometimes we would just sit and people watch because there's used to be a lot of people walking up and down Main Street, especially in the summertime.
Allowing diverse people to bring their ideas without shooting them down.
To many, Main Street is headed in the wrong direction. But there's still time to make a U-turn. Town officials need to work with all populations to bring back the vibrancy and community that Hyannis once enjoyed.
When y'all gonna make some changes up in here?